I'm just saying, do you
But are
think that
not
it should
saying
be
because,
mandatory
like,
at
you've
birth?
been in situations where you're a married person and like you want a DNA test because you think someone's been unfaithful?
Well, I haven't personally, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people. As a matter of fact, 40% of DNA tests result in the man not being the father. So that's almost
So
half.
are you like
You are not.
trying to attack women right now, saying you're out here doing something you shouldn't be doing? Let's all test and make sure I'm the one who should be paying child support.
Yes.
Well, I'm not trying to attack women. I'm just trying to, make sure that we have the right person on the birth certificate.
I don't think a birth certificate is that important when
Huh?
you're talking about lots of women who go in as single parents all the time.
Well, there are single fathers too, though.
He then said that he wanted the DNA test. You know that that's your kid. I will never give you a DNA test. That's not going to happen.
No?
Because I know of course not.
But if he's asking for
Because
it,
I will not go it. I did my research. I will never ever give him a DNA test. You will need to take me to court.
The only ones.
And let's be real here, that's facts. If you're actually using the money on your child's food, clothes, school, and living expenses, why would a restriction bother you? The only people upset are the ones treating child support like it's a second paycheck. Hair appointments, vacations, shopping sprees, you name it. This law basically says the money is for the child, not the parent's lifestyle. And honestly, that's how it should have always been. Imagine the irony: dads get dragged through court, forced to pay, but then have zero control over how the money's spent. Now the government steps in with debit cards restricted to kids' essentials, and suddenly there's outrage. Why? Because for some, child support was never about the child, it was about control and comfort. And here's the kicker: if you can't maintain a stable home for the kids with all the support you're given, maybe the more capable parent should have custody. That's not cruelty, that's logic. Kids deserve the best environment, not to be pawns in some bitter tug of war. Before we dive in, drop a comment: are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next.
At birth.
No.
I don't know why you, okay.
Because it's calling my wife a whore to do that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Why? Okay, so
Because
women,
the assumption of first of all, mandatory, good grief, but the premise of it is that my wife is sleeping around.
okay, so
I'm quite confident my wife is not sleeping around.
The woman feels icky for a little bit, but then
The man feels icky. I would feel quite icky.
Wait. The woman feels icky for a little bit. Fine, maybe the man feels icky.
Certainly he would. You're calling his wife a whore and him a cuckold.
It prevents men from being put on child support and raising kids that aren't theirs.
You're saying they're
And
married.
if people want to opt out of it, fine, you can opt
Okay,
out.
so it's not mandatory.
But
It's voluntary, but there it is voluntary. Yes.
I think it would be better if it was mandatory. I think that's a better.
So then the men can opt out.
Oh my gosh, what are you?
Child support isn't a check for the custodial parent who is taking care of the child. Child support is only supposed to be used for the child's needs.
Fun fact: paternity tests, which are used to confirm a man is the biological father of his child, are illegal in France. And if a father is caught using a paternity test in France or in any other country, he could face up to a year in jail and a $16,000 fine. In 1994, France banned DNA testing because it had the potential to break up too many families. Even today, at-home DNA tests like 23andMe are banned in France. Because in France, 5 out of 10 men and 4 out of 10 women admit to cheating on their partner. And culturally, the attitude towards cheating is quite relaxed. So the government worried that allowing DNA tests to be conducted freely would unnecessarily tear apart too many families, saying the law preserves the peace of families. And the only way to get a legal paternity test in France is if it's ordered by a judge.
So while everyone was busy worrying about the TikTok ban, did you see Trump's tweet saying about child support? How if you receive child support, you can no longer file for your child for taxes, and the person who pays child support can.
And remember,
exactly. This right here is the part people love to twist. Child support was never meant to be a paycheck for the parent who has custody. It's not free money or a reward for raising the child. The whole purpose is simple: to cover the child's needs: food, clothes, school supplies, healthcare, a safe roof over their head. That's it. But somewhere along the line, too many people started treating it like an extension of their own income. Suddenly, it's nails, trips, new outfits, brunch dates, all while the actual child might still be lacking basics. And when you point this out, boom, you're attacking single mothers or not understanding the struggle. Let's call it what it is, accountability. If you're truly spending the money on your child, then transparency shouldn't scare you. But if you see child support as a lifestyle subsidy, then yeah, a system that locks the funds to kid-only expenses feels like a threat. This is where the entitlement shows. People want the benefits of support, but none of the oversight. Meanwhile, the parent paying is expected to stay quiet and trust that everything's being handled. Double standards on full display.
On the DNA test. You know that that's your kid. I will never give you a DNA test. That's not going to happen.
No.
Because I know, of course not.
But if he's asking for
Because
it,
I will not go it. I did my research. I will never, ever give him a DNA test. You will need to take me to court.
Now this one, it's a bombshell truth that people don't like hearing. Mandatory paternity testing before a father signs the birth certificate. Sounds extreme. Not really. It's actually the most logical and fair safeguard you could have. Why? Because once that name is on paper, the law doesn't care about feelings or mistakes that man is financially tied to that child for 18 years, whether he's the biological father or not. And here's the reality most overlook: mistakes happen, lies happen, and yes, paternity fraud does happen. Yet the system rarely protects men from it. Imagine being a hardworking dad, grinding every day, only to find out years later the child isn't even yours, but you're still legally required to pay. No refunds, no oops, my bad, just endless garnished wages. The people saying that's not fair are usually the ones who never had to live through it. They don't know what it's like to work overtime, lose money before taxes even hit your account, and then still get treated like an ATM with no voice in the process. If we're serious about fairness, then proving paternity should be step one. That's not cruelty. That's basic accountability. Protect the real dads, protect the kids, and eliminate the gray areas that let the system exploit men.
Ladies, do you think mandatory paternity testing would hurt or help women in today's society?
I don't know. I feel like that's such a broad question because I feel like in some ways it could be harmful, but in other ways I think overall it would be helpful in terms of, child support and knowing it. But it's like, that's odd because it's like, what's the circumstance? Is it just like for every birth there's a paternity test?
yeah.
Yeah.
In what ways would that be harmful?
Women are furious.
Of course, women are furious about this new law requiring mandatory paternity tests, but let's break down why. If you've got nothing to hide, a paternity test should be no problem. In fact, it should bring peace of mind to everyone involved. The dad knows for sure, the child gets clarity, and the mother has full transparency backing her up. Everybody wins. So why the outrage? Because for some women, this law threatens the ability to control the narrative. It exposes a reality nobody wants to talk about. Not every child support case is built on honesty. Some men have been paying for kids that aren't even theirs, all because the system assumes the mother's word is enough. That's not empowerment, that's exploitation. The anger isn't really about fairness, it's about losing a loophole. A loophole that gave women leverage, security, and financial backup at the expense of a man's rights. Now, with mandatory testing, that door is closing. And instead of celebrating a system that finally prioritizes truth, some are calling it offensive or insulting. But let's be real. If the law protects men from being trapped in a financial nightmare that isn't theirs to carry, how is that unfair? If anything, this law should be the bare minimum standard of justice, because fatherhood is too important and too expensive to be left to assumptions.
My door like that.
It's an emergency.
What's up?
I need you to come to the courthouse with me real quick.
What you need me to come to? No, hell no. I ain't finna go to no courthouse.
Come on. No, wait.
Go to the courthouse for what?
So I can take you off of child support. Don't you want to get taken off of child support?
Take me off of child support?
Yeah.
You up to some?
No, I'm not.
So you want to be next? Take me off of child support?
Yeah, come on. Don't you want to get taken off of child support? Ain't you tired of paying that shit?
I am tired of paying it, but why though? Like, why now though? Like,
because Trump's finna be in office, and you know what I'm saying. he finna make it to where you can't file taxes if the other parent is paying child support. So I need you to come down here. I'd rather have the taxes than that motherfucking child support. You know what I'm saying?
trying to run
you don't
stuff.
pay
You trying
shit
to
in
run
child
one.
support.
Oh,
I feel
no.
like that ain't fair. You don't pay
So-
shit in child support like that.
Also,
That child support ain't shit.
I knew it was something.
Come on, we can
I
bust
knew
the
it was
taxes
something.
down.
No,
Damn.
I'm cool. You know something? I think that, taxes sound better than me paying.
Come
So
on,
hell no,
man,
no,
bro.
No, don't touch me. No, hell no. You
That
trying to
ain't
play
fair.
me.
I have them
No,
all the
see,
time,
would've-
bro.
no,
I
listen,
have them all the
would've
time.
tried
I
to
spend
work-
more money than fucking child support, bro.
I would have tried to work something out with you, but the only reason why you here because you want to get taxes. Guess who got taxes now? Me. Yeah.
Man, get
so
your
hey, you
foul
can get that
ass
child
on,
support,
bro.
man. Hey, I'm not going to no courthouse with you. That's your ass.
Yeah, that's
get.
gonna be the next thing
Hey,
that's getting decided on. I'm taking.
Hey,
we gonna.
listen,
I'm
I
gonna
don't care
fight
about none of
against that.
I get them taxes.
We
Hey,
gonna all come together and we
listen,
gonna go
let
to
me
the
tell you
Supreme
something.
Court with that
Let me
shit.
tell you something.
Because that shit is not right.
Hey, let me tell you something. Thank God for Donald Trump. Now get out my doorstep.
Man, shut your ass up.
So,
This right here exposes one of the biggest double standards in family law. Women are perfectly fine collecting half a man's paycheck every month for child support. No hesitation, no second thoughts. But the moment dads ask for something as basic as being able to claim their own kids on taxes, suddenly, it's a problem. Suddenly, it's unfair or complicated. Think about how backwards that is. A man can be legally forced to pay thousands of dollars a year with money taken straight out of his check before he even sees it. Yet when he says, "Hey, since I'm paying, shouldn't I at least get to claim my kids too?" the answer is almost always no. Why? Because that tax credit means extra money, and in this system, the custodial parent is used to having it all. This is where the gender role confusion shows up. Men are expected to provide like traditional fathers, but when it comes to rights and recognition, they're treated like optional visitors. It's sacrifice without authority, payment without partnership. And when dads push back, they're painted as selfish, as if wanting fairness makes you a bad father. At the end of the day, if child support is truly for the kids, then dads who pay faithfully should at least have the dignity of sharing in the legal recognition of their children. Anything less is exploitation disguised as parenting.
My kids have 3 different dads. I saw Trump's new law, and I agree. If a man is willing to pay child support and they are willing and forced to pay medical support, by them claiming the kids on their taxes, it gives them a break too, okay? I know a lot of people are against this because I personally feel a lot of women look forward to tax season because of those tax refunds, right? But at the end of the day, if you're dependent on a tax refund, maybe you should find a better career path, stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, no, I actually think it's a good idea because what's happening is these men are forced to pay child support, or women are forced to pay child support. And then from there, they have to provide medical as well. But if you do not claim your children on medical, if you qualify for any kind of health support, you have to pay out of pocket for your children regardless. They will not let you add them to your plan unless you claim them on taxes. So I understand why Trump's doing this.
Ladies, listen up good and listen good. To all the men out there, this is some great news and I need you to hear. Donald Trump just tweeted, if you put your baby's father on child support, you cannot claim the child for income tax. Only the father can. Only the father can claim the child for income tax. You can't. Damn, boy. Trump, where you been at?
These mothers brought up.
These mothers go into court listing their daily parental duties: cooking, cleaning, getting the child to school, as if those aren't just the basic responsibilities of being a parent. They frame normal parenting as labor that deserves financial compensation, and the courts often nod along. But it doesn't stop there. Many use that courtroom as a chessboard, dictating what the father can and cannot do. They fight to set the rules, limit his time with his own kids, and then spin that reduced visitation into a bigger payday. Because the less time the dad gets, the more money the mom collects. It's a cycle that rewards gatekeeping and punishes involvement. And let's be clear, that's always been the problem. A system that allows one parent to weaponize custody, not because of the child's best interest, but because of financial incentives. It turns kids into bargaining chips, fathers into wallets, and mothers into gatekeepers of access. The result? Children grow up with less time with their dads, not because he didn't want to be there, but because someone calculated that limiting his role meant more cash flow. That's not parenting. That's manipulation under the cover of the law.
You damn if you do, you damn if you don't. Because a lot of these brothers need to be on child support because they are not financially supporting the kid. You understand what I'm saying? And then it's like, you suffer the consequences for him having to pay child support when a lot of the times these guys out here are deadbeats. They need to be on child support. But making the father being able to get the credit for the kid at the end of the year for income tax, and what if that's your only kid? What if that's money that you rely on because your income and you've been filing your kid every year? Like, I know that y'all gotta be like thinking like what Trump was thinking when he decided to come up with that kind of a concept. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Then I hear that he's trying to like stop, people that's on Section 8. I hear that he's, a possible stimulus that's going to be coming out. Like, I think it's like $1,400. The only thing that I am so happy about, though, like when I do my overtime, I'm excited about, anything over the 40 hours, that'll be tax-free money for us. You know what I mean? So that way, when we doing all of that overtime, we get to see that money. You know what I mean? We don't have to get taxed and they killing us. The more money we make, the more they take. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm kind of happy about that. But some of them bills that Trump passed, guys, y'all better be ready because he is not playing. And I feel bad for, mothers that possibly just put their baby fathers on child support. It won't happen for them this year because they haven't put the child. They probably just put the child father on child support this year sometime. But I just feel really bad because you figure like this year right here, 2025, the whole time if the father is paying child support, he gets to claim the kid at the end of the year of 2026. So I'm just telling you guys right now. I mean, if you have multiple kids, it's different. But when you only got one and you rely on that source of income, it's going to damage a lot of, single moms out there. So we definitely got to send the prayers up for all of the single mothers out there that has to, go through the lack of support from fathers that don't want to support the kid. And then they out there working so hard and busting their behinds. And then here go Trump with this law. That could kind of like...
And here's the blunt reality the system is finally forcing into the open. Child support is only meant for the child's needs. Period. Driving to soccer practice? That's on the mom. Living in a certain neighborhood or keeping a lifestyle beyond the child's necessities? Also on her. The law doesn't exist to subsidize the parent's comfort. It exists to make sure the child is taken care of. Yet so often, that distinction gets blurred. By complaining or trying to funnel child support into their own lives, some parents are literally signaling that they can't provide for their kids on their own merits. It's almost self-incriminating. We need extra money not for the child, but because our lives can't sustain proper parenting without it. The truth is harsh but simple. Being a parent requires responsibility, resourcefulness, and sacrifice. If you can't cover basic needs while managing your household, the system isn't trying to punish you, it's exposing a gap. And the more people fight restrictions, the more they reveal that their priorities aren't the child's well-being. It's accountability, plain and simple. If the child is thriving, everyone should be on board. If not, excuses don't change the facts.
The children are not the man's child. 40%. He said 40%. And it's usually DNA testing. It's two scenarios. It's where the woman, the person's getting a DNA test because the woman claims that is their child. Turns out it's not. The other one is where the parent is on the deathbed and makes a confession, or they need a liver transplant, blood transfusion in the blood type. There's no way that can actually be the father. So then they find out because of medical reasons. You mean that's not my father? Then the father finds out from that way. He said it took such a toll on him that he could no longer do it because he would be sitting on the phone counseling the men and the grown children who these women falsely accuse. We see it on Moore, we see it on paternity court, but yet we say men need to be held accountable.
What do you guys think? Should paternity testing be mandatory upon birth?
As a mother of 4 children, my kids have 3 different dads. I saw Trump's new law.
Y'all can't even put it for a social security card if the baby mama decides she ain't giving y'all none of the information.